Hey guys, it's Lisa, and in today's video I am going to be engraving this heart cutting board. We're going to be making a grandma design for Mother's Day coming up just this weekend. It's for my friend and he is going to give it to his mom for Mother's Day. Now, full disclosure, I did intend for this video to show you how to curve text in Silhouette Studio, and I still do, but after I set up these 4 names, I didn't like how it looked in a circle, so this is the final design we'll be working on, and I will show you how I did that. And if you are interested in getting a Glowforge, make sure you check out the link below where you can find out how you can save up to $500 on a new Glowforge. Right, so I'm in Silhouette Studio. This is where I'm going to create my design. So we're going to go over just the basic grandma design, but the biggest thing that I want to show you is how we are going to curve text. Now, I did do this design a few weeks back for Facebook Live, and the board worked out so perfectly because the grandma has so many grandkids. This video, we have 4 grandkids that we're working with, so we're going to do the basic circle, but I'm also going to try a couple different options to see if they fit better. So the first thing we're going to type is grandma, because this is for a grandma. So we're going to type G-R-A-N-D-M-A. So you can see this is choosing a different font right now because I was experimenting with a different one. So let's go right here. I'm going to click one time so I get this gray box around it. And I am going to use a font called Great Vibes. So it's just like classy, basic grandma font, you know what I'm saying? So we have grandma right here. Now this is a script font, and what that means is, let me take this fill off by going to this top left corner. I'm going to click these little X buttons to get the crosshairs. So right here, since it's still in text edit mode, you'll see that you have these overlapping lines. These are individual letters. This is still like an active text. So we need to get rid of these overlapping lines by clicking on here and hitting weld. So now we have this overlapping, and now I'm going to right click and make compound path, which essentially means, hey, make this one big object. So I'm going to go back out and let's fill this in. So now we're going to type our names. So we have Landon. This is not the font we're going to use. Levi, Emma, and Kate. So these are her 4 grandkids, and I already chose a cutesy font for this, so I'm going to click one time with the gray line, and we're going to use a font called CLN, Totally Really, but not that one. I don't like that one. Totally Really 2. This one's cute. So we're going to go right here. So we have our names like that, and you can see our text box is really large. I just double clicked and brought that over. So I'm going to drag them like this. I'm going to click the black box, and I did the corner to kind of drag it to make that my font a little bit larger. So now we're going to work on curving our text. So the way that this happens is to curve text. Right now it's in text edit mode, which means we can change the font, we can change the size of it, we can change the spelling. Now, the cool thing is that we can use text edit mode and a shape to say, hey, I want to curve this text. I can still edit my text, and let's use this shape to do it. So let's make the shape to start. So let's go right here. We can go over to the left side. We have our shapes here, and we're going to hit this circle right here. So we're going to click in, hold down shift, click, drag, and now we have made a circle. All right, so this is the line that our names are going to go on. So I want to make sure my grandma's right in the middle. I'm going to take my mouse, click and drag to get both of these just like this. And then this button in the top of our quick access toolbar is our center. So I was pretty close. So we're going to go right here, and so we want our names to curve around this. So I'm going to double click on it. Double click, I'm in text edit mode. That means I can change my spelling, I can do a bunch of stuff, and you'll know you're in text edit mode because you have that green box around it. While you're in text edit mode, you'll see this little crosshair. I like to call it a compass. I don't think that's the real word for it, but that's what I call it. We're gonna take this and click and drag by holding down that compass. Now once we do that, we're gonna bring it over to this line. So see this orange? We're gonna bring it, boom. Once it touches that line, it starts curving. Now here's the thing. We don't have enough names. We need to make spacing. So what I'm going to do is I'm literally just going to go between each two and add spaces evenly to each one to see how I can get it around. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. I'm just going to keep going. There may be a better way to do this, but I want to make sure it's even, so I don't care. So here's the hard part. When you don't have a whole lot of names, it can look a little bit weird. So what I did is I clicked and dragged, and you can see it's still, I don't like it. It doesn't look very good. So let's go ahead, double click and take our names off. So double click, text edit mode, click and drag. And so we have these. So what I think I'll try now is maybe we'll do like a little curve. So I'm going to stretch out my circle so that the angle isn't as sharp. And then if we double click, kind of bring it like this, you can see that I'm just decreasing all of my spacing. So let's go ahead and bring this more to the middle. And the cool thing is, you know how I talk about we need that line to curve? If I move the whole circle, it'll move my names as well. So we're going to bring it like that. I still don't like it. So let's see how it looks curving underneath it. So we have that there, so we can use this slider to bring it closer or further away. So we have that. If I'm being totally honest, I don't like any of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click and get this off of the line. And we're going to go real basic. And we're literally just going to put the names underneath there. So I'm just going to go through and kind of add an extra space between each one of these names just to space it out. And let's bring this down like that. So I just want them kind of underneath there. And I'm just going to do one more where I'm going to do an established EST. And then let me check my phone. I had the date right. It's 2014. I can't keep track of when all my friends' kids are born. It's just, I don't know. So I'm going to go over here, change this to Times New Roman. Fill it in black. And then I'm going to bring this and put my established 2014. And maybe what I'll do is I'll just kind of make a little line to go in between there. So I'll do that by doing a rectangle. Bring this down. And actually, let's do something cute. So here's my video of not really doing what I say I'm going to do. So my grandma's welded. I'm going to go right here, right click, make compound path, which is making one big object like we talked about earlier. And let's bring this. I'm going to group these two together. So grab these two, right click, group. And the reason why I'm doing this is I'm going to redistribute the spacing between all of this. And I want this to be treated as like to move together. So let's go ahead, drag and grab all of these together. You'll see 3 gray boxes. If you go to the top of your quick access toolbar, you can see right here, respace vertically. So you can see we have that right there. Now I'm going to go through and make this a little bit narrower. I can do this up here in the quick access toolbar as well. You can see it's 7.92 inches wide. Let's go ahead and change this to 7. So now you can see we have it right there. So I think this is still a little bit thick. So I'm going to take my arrow right here, just bring it like that, and then once again redistribute my spacing again. Now, I really intended for this video to be how to curve your text, so hopefully you got it already, because I'm not doing it in this final product, but we have this little design right here. And this is going to go on a heart cutting board, so I'm not going to worry too much about how it looks because it'll go right on the board. And I'm just going to hit Control-Z because I'm trying to test out stuff. I can do multiple undo, but I don't want to. Alright, so we have our grandma established 2014, and let's zoom in right here and just spruce this up a little bit. I'm in business edition, so we're going to go over to our flexi shapes and do a heart. So let's go over here, grab this heart right here. We can create a shape by clicking and dragging. So you can find our heart right here. I can use this little button to make it larger or smaller, so on and so forth. So we have this right here. Let's fill this in black. So we have our grandma. Let's go ahead, convert that to path because I don't need to make any more modifications. And I can bring this down. So I'm going to put a heart in the middle of this line, but it's a little bit too big, so let's go ahead and make that a little bit smaller. Right, sweet. That's good. I like that. So let's go right here. I'm going to align it in the middle. And then you can see this heart is just sitting on top. You can drag over and see it's two different objects. So let's go right here, right click, and weld. Now we have a cute little extra heart there. Let's go ahead and fix our spacing by selecting all of them, distribute vertically, and now you can see you have your little grandma, established 2014, and the names of the kids. So again, I would have liked to curve the text, but it doesn't work super great if you don't have a lot of names. So we are improvising. So let's go ahead, and I'm ready to kind of set this up for Glowforge. So I'm going to go over, and just to make it easier on me, I'm going to select my entire design. I'm going to right click, and I'm going to group it. Now this is why we use Business Edition. I'm going to go over, I have this set up. Let's go to File, Save Selection, Save to Hard Drive, and then once you're in that, you're just going to choose SVG, title it, and save it, and then I'm going to do that, and I'll see you in the Glowforge app. Alright, so I'm in my Glowforge. I have my heart cutting board in there. You can see that I've masked it with painter's tape. I have normal masking that I typically use, but there's a finish on this bamboo that it doesn't like to stick to, so I'm going to be using painter's tape. Now the last thing I cut was acrylics. We're going to go over here, and I'm going to use uncertified material, and I'm going to put my thickness at 0.5, hit submit. And now I'm going to go through and upload my design. So go to upload, and then we'll just find my design, throw that in there. So now it's going to process while my design goes through. So here's my design. You can see it's all right there. So the first thing I want to do is I just want to shrink it down to fit better onto my cutting board. And I'm going to go through and enter my settings. So we're going to engrave, and then I have been using this setting in here before, bamboo. So I do my speed at 1000, my power at 100, and I do 270 lines per inch. I'm going to actually increase this to 340 just to, no, I'm just, now go back. Let me do 270. I don't need 340. So let's go back over there. So we have our engrave. So once we have it set to engrave, we can kind of see it in there a little bit better. We have that nice and centered. And even though I set it to a 1/2 inch, I always like to go through and set my focus just to be safe. So I click set focus, put it right in the middle here, and now my machine's just going to focus on there to make sure that we have the right distance for our material. And I'm just going to stretch this out a tiny bit so we can really fill that space. And I'm just using my arrows to kind of figure out exactly where I want this to be. And I'm just zooming in. Oops, I scrolled a little too hard. And I'm just kind of nudging along as I go. The heart can be a little tricky because it tapers at the bottom. So I'm just gonna go through, and actually I know I bumped it up, but I'm gonna bump it right back down. So we have that set right there. I'm happy with it. Let's go ahead and print. This is gonna prepare. I'm gonna let that figure out how long it's gonna be, and I'm gonna get my Glowforge ready. Okay, so it's gonna be 13 minutes. We're gonna press the button, and I'll see you when it's done. Alright guys, so here is our finished bamboo cutting board. So I really like this. Again, this is from Johnson Plastic Plus, and it's a nice smaller board, decorative item, and it's really light. Now, one thing to keep in mind is if you are going to engrave this, I do recommend putting some sort of masking on it. It'll prevent the charring from going around it. It just makes it a little bit neater. So, fun project. I know Mother's Day is very soon. This video might even go up after Mother's Day. I don't even know. But it's a fun thing that you can do all the time. Grandmas are grandmas all the time, not just on Mother's Day. So do keep this in mind. And if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. It would mean so much to me, and it would help me get out more videos to you.